So many people on meth. Ow!
Well, kind of an alarming story if you're going to be hopping on a flight out of PBI this week. They arrested a dude yesterday that was looking really suspicious outside of the airport. He was in his car, and when they came over and asked him for some identification and proof of ownership, he went into his glove box to get out the rental agreement, and that was when they noticed, hey, he's got an AR-15 in there with a lot of clips. There are some knives in there as well. It's all kind of laid out on his hood in this photo. And then when they started looking at the dude himself, they realized he probably was up to no good. 41-year-old Michael Rodriguez. The only good quality he had was he was wearing a Dwayne Wade Miami Heat jersey when he was arrested. But this dude has a long history of violence, a pending felony case, a domestic violence injunction, multiple past arrests for battery, burglary, and assault involving 2 different women. Thankfully, they've detained him and booked him without bond. He's looking at 3 felonies at least right now: possession of a firearm, possession of cocaine, and airport trespassing. So this guy's loaded up with guns and knives on the blow. Huge rap sheet. Good chance he was not there to do anything good. So thank God, though, that PBI was all over it in their security. I mean, that's amazing. They just saw a guy looking shady, and they went and took care of it, because who knows what he would have done if he was given time and the resources. Probably nothing good, and I'm hoping that he will be locked up for pretty much the better part of his life. Well, Ghislaine Maxwell is opposing the Department of Justice's request to unseal grand jury transcripts from her 2021 sex trafficking conviction, arguing that it breaches secrecy rules and jeopardizes her Supreme Court appeal. Now, the DOJ is saying that most content is public already, and redacted release serves a public interest, and a judge is going to be deciding on this soon. Ghislaine Maxwell also told DOJ investigators that nothing incriminating had come up about Donald Trump during her 2-day interview. But the House Oversight Committee subpoenaed DOJ Epstein case files and scheduled depositions with Bill and Hillary Clinton and 8 former top law officials, including AGs and FBI directors. The bipartisan effort aims to examine just how the cases were handled and possible ties to high-profile figures, which is what a lot of people are asking for, just some transparency. And we want to know, was this handled properly? And if not, who didn't handle it properly and how? The subpoenas require records by August 19th and depositions through October. So maybe into the fall, we might get some accountability, or at least some answers here. Well, we got an answer to who was stealing the Miami Heat memorabilia and selling it online. It was a 25-year retired veteran of the Miami Police Department who had access to a secured storage room at the Kaseya Center, was selling the items online. Marcos Thomas Perez is his name, and he has been charged in a federal case for stealing and reselling over 400 pieces of game-worn memorabilia worth millions of dollars belonging to stars like LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. The DOJ and FBI seized nearly 300 additional stolen items from his home. It's considered to be one of the largest sports memorabilia thefts in all of history. The Heat had considered using the items for a future museum and are trying to recover them if they can. A second unrelated investigation involves player Terry Rozier for alleged gambling. So a lot going on in Heat world. Well, in the WNBA, it has definitely become a thing. We talked about there have been 2 dildos thrown on the court. Now there has been a third. This was Atlanta, Chicago were the first 2. Now we've got one in LA, so it's happening all over America.
Oh, look out. Something just came onto the floor. Got an object that just flew in as the free throw was being made. And it looked like that hit a player, too.
Yeah, it looks like it grazed Sophie Cunningham. She was the one that I talked about yesterday, had tweeted out about not hitting players with these adult rubbery dongs, and boom, it looks like she was grazed by one. It would be interesting to see what they do to try to stop this epidemic. They got to start patting people down, and if somebody seems a little too girthy in the shorts, they got to make them prove it. I don't know what they're going to do at WNBA games, but it's become an epidemic. Remember yesterday I was telling you about that cop in Houston that got in trouble after she joked on TikTok that she'd been pulling people over because she didn't get laid the night before? The caption on her post said, "Didn't get cracked last night, so everyone is getting a ticket." Her name is Jennifer Escalera, and now they've launched a full investigation for the post. She does remain on full active duty, and it turns out she did not write even one ticket on her next shift after going without loving. She's posted several videos on TikTok of her putting on her uniform, getting ready for the day, and more. But nowhere there'll be any punishment so far. You know, my wife has been saying, "Hey, you guys need to do this." I'm like, that doesn't look safe. And it doesn't look like we'd have the core strength to do it. Have you seen this crazy thing going on TikTok where women are putting on stiletto heels and somehow it looks like they're balancing themselves on, I don't know if it's a wine glass or a champagne flute or something like that? Well, now a mom influencer has injured her spine after taking part in the viral Nicki Minaj stiletto challenge. She was up on a table and balance did not hold up and she went tumbling off of it. Again, don't do things you see on TikTok, y'all. Have you seen there's a new ice cream available nationwide? Don't know if it's going to be any good. It's a company called Odd Fellows, which apparently has made a small batch of ice cream that is made of breast milk flavored ice cream. People have been trying it, and believe it or not, doesn't sound like it's that bad.
So what we're going to do right now is, why don't we try some breast milk? I do want to try it with gold, because why wouldn't we? All right, there we go. I mean, quite honestly, I think it tastes like pralines and cream. It tastes like pralines and cream ice cream, I have to say. I mean, if this is what breast milk tastes like, I know why babies are so into it. There you go right there. Breast milk ice cream right here in Dumbo, just like your mom used to make. And I got to say, this might be the best breast milk ice cream I've ever had.
Okay, there you go. What are we doing, huh? We got to be doing breast milk ice cream now? We just can't have cookies and cream? That's not enough for us? You know, anytime you try to go viral, something's bound to possibly happen. And there was a man who proposed to his partner using a walkie-talkie from the ground. She was flying an ultralight training aircraft. She accepted. Of course, there's video that is going on, but moments later, her plane crashed into a citrus grove, and now her and the pilot are seriously injured. It was all an attempt to go viral. They thought that would make for a great video, and now it's been a documentary to a tragic accident. Doesn't seem like this is the best judgment. A Catholic priest in North Carolina got arrested at his church for soliciting prostitution. I guess you can't do that if you're man of the cloth. And it's kind of a crazy story that's going viral as well. A woman in Los Angeles was left with a nearly $8,000 parking ticket. Apparently, she had visited a local hospital and was only there for 45 minutes, but a receipt said that she'd been there parked for 3 years. She, of course, fought the charge and eventually got a refund, but just goes to show you got to keep receipts. And something else that's going viral, a Gen Z intern's email to her boss. Apparently, she told him that she needed to take a few days off because, quote, "my energy feels a little off." That was her excuse why she couldn't come in for basically a week. Again, adding to the questions about Gen Z's work ethic. And that is what is going on in your whacked out news.